Hook. I had 72 hours to find a wife, or I'd lose everything I'd built in America. So I married my assistant. Big mistake. Turns out, she wasn't who I thought she was at all. Cut to intense stare. She spoke 6 languages, owned a secret mansion, and had a past that would change everything. Setup. My name is Marcus Chun, and 3 years ago, I was living the American dream. I'd founded a tech startup in Silicon Valley that was about to go public. We were valued at $50 million, and I was the face of the company. There was just one problem. My visa was expiring. My lawyer called me on a Tuesday morning. Marcus, immigration denied your H-1B renewal. You have 72 hours before deportation proceedings begin. 72 hours. 3 days to abandon everything I'd worked for, or find a solution. That's when my business partner, Jake, suggested the unthinkable. What about a green card marriage? I laughed. That's illegal, man. Fraud. Only if it's fake, he said. What if you actually married someone and made it work? Enter the assistant. My executive assistant, Emma Rodriguez, had been with the company for 8 months. She was efficient, quiet, and kept to herself. We barely spoke outside of work emails. When I desperately mentioned my situation during a late-night work session, she said something that stopped me cold. I'll marry you. Just like that. No hesitation. No emotion. Emma, you can't be serious. She looked up from her laptop. You need a green card. I need. Let's just say I have my reasons. We can make this work for both of us. The deal, we drew up our own contract. I'd pay her $100,000 upfront, another $150,000 after I got my green card. We'd stay married for 2 years minimum to avoid suspicion. Separate bedrooms. No emotional attachment. The wedding was at City Hall on a Friday afternoon. Emma wore a simple white dress. I wore my work suit. No guests. No celebration. Just signatures and an immigration deadline. That night, Emma moved into my downtown apartment. I showed her to the guest room. I work early mornings, she said. I'll stay out of your way. First discoveries, living with Emma, was strange. She'd disappear for hours without explanation. She'd take phone calls in languages I didn't recognize. One night, I heard her speaking what sounded like Russian, then Arabic, then something else entirely. At work, I finally asked, Emma, how many languages do you speak? She didn't look up from her screen. 6 fluently. 8 if you count conversational. I blinked. How did I not know this? You never asked. The mansion, 2 months into our arrangement, Emma said she needed to check on something, and asked me to drive her. Immigration had already scheduled our first interview, so we needed to appear like a real couple anyway. She directed me to an exclusive neighborhood in Palo Alto. Multi-million-dollar estates. Old money territory. Turn here, she said, pointing to a gated driveway. We pulled up to a stunning Mediterranean-style mansion. Easily 8,000 square feet. Ocean views. The whole package. Emma, whose house is this? She pulled out a key. Mine. The confrontation. I followed her inside, my head spinning. The interior was immaculate. Modern art on the walls. Expensive furniture. A library that would make a university jealous. Emma, what the hell is going on? You're my assistant. How can you afford this? She poured herself a glass of wine. I was never really your assistant, Marcus. I'm a consultant. Corporate intelligence. International negotiations. Your company hired me 8 months ago to help with your expansion into Asian markets. The assistant job was just cover. Cover for what? I specialize in sensitive cross-border deals. The kind where speaking Mandarin, Japanese, Korean, Russian, Arabic, and Portuguese becomes very valuable. I sat down heavily. So the marriage. I needed a legal reason to stay in the country long term. My visa situation is complicated. You needed a wife. It worked for both of us. The deeper mystery, over the next few weeks, I learned more. Emma had worked for 3 governments as a translator. She'd negotiated deals worth hundreds of millions. She'd lived in 12 countries. But there was something else. Something she wasn't telling me. I found out by accident. A letter came to my apartment addressed to Emma Volkova, not Rodriguez. When I confronted her, she finally broke. My real name is Ekaterina Volkova. I'm Russian-American. My family fled Russia when I was 12 because my father testified against oligarchs. We've been in witness protection on and off for 15 years. The marriage, she continued, her voice cracking for the first time, made it harder for certain people to track me. A married woman with a new name, new documentation. It bought me time. The choice, our immigration interview, was in 2 days. We'd rehearsed our story 100 times. But now everything felt different. Emma, Ekaterina, whoever you are you in danger? She nodded slowly. Less than I was. But yes. Then we do this right, I said. Not as a transaction. As partners. The immigration interview, was intense. They asked about our first date. We said it was a work dinner that turned personal. Our favorite memories. We described the weekend in Napa we'd actually taken to prepare. How we knew we were in love. That last question hung in the air. I looked at Emma, at the woman who spoke 6 languages, who owned a secret mansion, who'd lived a life I couldn't imagine. She surprises me every day. I said honestly. I thought I knew her, but I'm still learning who she really is. And I want to keep learning. Emma's eyes met mine. Something passed between us. Something real. We got the conditional green card approved. 1 year later. It's been 18 months since our City Hall wedding. We're still married. But now we actually live in a mansion together. Our mansion. Since I sold my startup and invested in her consulting firm. We're partners in every sense. Business. Legal. And yeah, somewhere along the way, it became real. She still speaks 6 languages on calls. She still has secrets I'm uncovering. But now when she disappears for hours, I know she'll come back. And I know she'll surprise me all over again.